Hey, I just finished Harriet the Spy, and I just wanted to do a little check-in on that because, wow, I just want to really, this is a really well put together little book of wisdom. The novel starts out with Harriet playing a game of Town, which sort of is a analog version of playing The Sims, where you're kind of a god looking down on this little town, and you make up all the characters and you kind of move them around. But you're looking at it from a very much the above, like they're little ants kind of perspective. And if you, as I go along the novel, you realize like, that is how Harriet has been writing. How is Harriet's been viewing the world, and has been viewing all her friends and people in her neighborhood as this sort of godlike, omnipotent, um, fairly non-empathetic person looking down upon her friends and that's sort of one of the sources of her her cutting, rather cruel remarks. I mean, that, and she's a very prickly, kind of angry person. She has this first memory of herself of being an infant, standing in a crib, looking out at a park and screaming at the top of her lungs, and that's sort of Harriet all over. Um, and through the course of the novel, there's a scene where she's there, like it's a school pageant, and she has to be an onion for the Christmas dinner. She has to feel what it is to be an onion, and she doesn't, not getting into it. But it's like throughout the course of the novel, by the end of the novel, she's like, oh, she sort of plays that game. She was a chair, she was a park bench, she was a mug, and she thought she did the mug the best of all, where it was like she was looking at the mug and the mug was looking at her, and it was like she kind of got the mug. Um, and at the very closing scene, she has her friends, Sport and Janie, coming towards her. Her had been very alienated friends because they've been really hurt by what they had read in her notebook. Um, and when she sees them from a distance, it's like the game Town, but as they come closer, she starts to kind of actually kind of feel what it is to be Sport, what it is to be Janie. Like she can inhabit them. Um, she's developing empathy, and you can see that, as a writer going forward, she's still going to be an angry, prickly person, um, but she's maybe going to be somebody who can inhabit people. And I mean, what is a lot of like fiction writing, but it's empathy machines. It's um, being allowed to get inside other people's minds, other people's consciousness, other people's lived experiences. Um, and that's where the novel ends, is her gaining empathy, uh, that insight. Um, and you know that the truths that she's going to come up with maybe are still going to be, pretty cutting, pretty hard truths, but they're going to be also filled with empathy. So even though sometimes you have to lie, um, sometimes you can tell the truth, um, from a point of view, from an empathetic place as well. So yeah, wow. That's my, just, I wanted to record that of just my having shut the book. I'll do a proper review of Harriet the Spy, but I just wanted to kind of have that there, of this children's book that I read when I was probably Harriet's age, 11 or 12, and really loved it then. But now I'm an adult, and it's like, this is still a really awesome book, and I can really still be excited by it. More videos later.